Live, love Africa. What's your excuse for not coming? Please subscribe.
Hello, I'm Tavis Smiley.
Greetings, everyone. It is Tavis Smiley, Search for Uhuru. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Again, go to dynastymir.com. While you're there, buy some merchandise, buy some books. Also, join the email list. Again, please join the email list. A lot of you guys keep emailing me and asking me and messaging me on social media. Also, follow me on social media as well. Prince Tavis Smiley on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, or look up Search for Uhuru. But a lot of you guys keep asking, hey, Tavis, when's the next tour? When's the next event? When is this going on? Well, if you follow me on social media, you know, I post everything there. So again, follow me on social media so you guys can stay up to date, and follow me, join the email list on dynastymir.com. Like, share, and subscribe to the content. Again, like, share, and subscribe to the content, you guys. I will really appreciate your guys' support. Help us grow. Again, help us grow and become a monthly Patreon. Again, become a monthly Patreon. Patreon.com, search for Uhuru. Again, patreon.com, search for Uhuru. Continue to support Black media so we can continue to share our own narrative and tell our own story. Today's topic, and we discussed a similar incident like this a couple of days ago with Mr. Abiola over at OK Africa. Now we have Tavis Smiley. Listen, Black men, okay? Listen, Black men. I don't care if she is the work jump off or the workplace freak, all right? I don't care. You cannot afford to dip your pen in Company Inc. Again, you cannot afford to dip your pen in Company Inc. Yes, I know plenty of men, Black men, who have gotten away with it and nothing happened. But then I know plenty of Black men where I'm saying, for some reason with Black men, when they get jammed up with workplace affairs, it just ends terribly for them. See, with white men, it gets kind of covered under the rug. You know, it gets, swept under the rug, or they just get transferred to another position or another department. With Black men, not only do you get fired and publicly shamed, and not only do women show up to your front doorstep with pitchforks, not only are you given the opportunity, like you're not even given the opportunity to share your side of the story, and you're automatically criminalized when stuff like this happens. Mr. Smiley's case is very unique. Like let's jump into this. Tavis Smiley, this is a first, okay? Tavis Smiley ordered to pay PBS $2.6 million for workplace affairs. So I've never heard of this, where when you get fired from your job, you get jammed up where you have to pay your job back. I've never heard of this. And me being in corporate America for 10 years, which is not a long time, but these days is a long time, especially for a millennial like myself. Well, longer than 10 years, like we'll say 10 to 12 years. And seeing and witnessing some of the most unethical, trifling stuff that happens at the workplace, I'm shocked by this. I just wonder how deep this rabbit hole goes with Tavis Smiley. Because again, working in corporate America, you do not understand the type of just stuff that I've witnessed and goes on at the job, especially when it comes to workplace affairs. Like, you guys have no clue. So let's jump into this. A judge has ordered TV host Tavis Smiley to pay $2.6 million to the public broadcasting service for having multiple affairs with his subordinates. A Washington, D.C. jury found in March that Smiley had breached the morals clause in his contract. Oh boy, there was a morals clause. So guys, we got to read our workplace contracts now as well. Following a 3-week trial, the jurors heard deposition testimony from 6 women who accused Smiley of misconduct. Guys, once again, okay. For some reason, this is what you're supposed to do, all right? You go to work, you do your job, you get your paycheck, you leave your job, you fund whatever your dreams are, your aspirations outside of work are. Again, your company paycheck, you use that to fund your purpose. You use that to fund your ambition. You use that to fund whatever you love to do. And you can't get distracted. I know at every job there's a workplace jump off. You can't do it. Black men, we cannot afford to do it because then you're embarrassed like Abiola and you are embarrassed like Tavis Smiley. We cannot afford to do it. Okay? Again, you go to work, do your job, get your paycheck for doing your job that's owed to you. You take that money, you fund your purpose, and you plan to exit corporate America and build your own corporation, black man. That is what you are supposed to do. You don't get caught up in stuff like this. You don't get distracted. All right? No happy hours. No, hey girl, let's talk about our work project Saturday night over a glass of wine at so-and-so. You don't do any of that. Okay? And especially if you're a married man. I mean, like, for God's sake. I mean, imagine you get fired. Now, not only do you have to explain to your wife that you're fired, now you have to explain to your wife that you were fired because you were having affairs at the workplace, at the job. How do you explain that embarrassment? So again, no happy hours, no, hey girl, we can't finish our work here, so how about you meet me here for a glass of wine after work? Black men, none of that. I'm telling you, stop it. All right. If you need to take your work, one of your paychecks, go to Dominican Republic. If that's just what you're into, if you just got to do that, just go to Dominican Republic, go to Brazil, do what you need to do. All right. But by all means, do not do it at your job. The jury awarded PBS $1.5 million, which included cost and underwriting revenue for the last 2 seasons of Smiley's talk show. But following the trial, the network argued that it should be entitled to additional damages under the morals clause. Judge Yvonne Williams agreed, issuing a ruling on August 5th. I'm guessing, I'm going to look it up, and if I'm wrong, I apologize ahead of time. Yvonne Williams is probably I hope that's not a sister, man. I hope it's not a sister. Hold on. I hope this is not a sister, you guys. I got to look this up real quick. I hope this is not a sister. Let me see if I can look her up. Yeah, I think it's a sister. Yeah, it's a sister. It's just unfortunate, man, how. Oh well, let's just continue. Judge Yvonne Williams agreed, issuing a ruling on August 5th, awarding PBS $2.6 million. That includes $1.9 million in liquidated damages. The amount paid by PBS to Smiley's company, TS Media, for the show's last 2 seasons. The judge also awarded PBS an additional $702,898 that corporate underwriters had paid to Smiley's company for those seasons. PBS suspended Smiley's show in December 2017 after hiring an outside firm to look into complaints of sexual misconduct. Brother, we just, my brother Mr. Fitzgerald Stevens, there's a cartoon that it has a man walking, and on the other side, and then it's like you're walking down a road, right? And then there's a ditch but the ditch represents WAP. Is that the new term? WAP, 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 WAP. That the new term? Yeah. And so it's like, and then on the other side of that ditch are your goals and your purpose and your ambitions. And just unfortunately, for a number of black men, we can't find a way around that ditch or to hover over that ditch. We fall into that ditch of WAP. And I mean, Mr. Smiley risked everything. And again, I'm just being honest. I don't support going overseas or tricking off. I don't support it. I don't agree with it. But you are better off doing that, because I know men are going to do it. You are better off doing that versus engaging in a workplace affair, especially when you are a black man of power, of power, wealth, and influence. Because it just always turns bad. And when it turns bad, it literally gets to this point where now you got to pay back your company $2.6 million because there was a clause in the contract that you had no clue about. Let's see here. Smiley sued the network in February 2018, and PBS countersued. The jury rejected Smiley's claim that PBS had violated his contract by canceling the show. In her ruling, Williams also denied Smiley's bid to reduce the jury award. Wonder Woman testified at the trial that Smiley made numerous sexual advances. When she rebuffed him, he said, "I'm tired of you telling me no." Tavis, man. "I'm tired of you rejecting me," according to her testimony. I mean, man, listen, again, I don't support tricking off. But there are so many other ways. There are more than one way. There's more than one way to skin a cat or kill a cat. Is that the same? Like, you don't have to do, you don't have to do this. Like, this is your ego talking. Like, again, you go to work, you do your job, you get paid for doing your job, and then you take that money and you fund your purpose so you can get out of corporate America. You don't get distracted by stuff like this. "I'm going to show you what happens to people when they reject me." I hope Tavis didn't say this. I hope Tavis did not say this. But see, this is the problem. And this was also the problem with the Cosby case. Like, when you're dealing with stuff like this, it's he say, she say, right? But once you start engaging with affairs with these women, then you open up a whole nother can of worms. That's why if Tavis Smiley would have kept his pants zipped up, and, women would have said, hey, he said this, he said that, that could have, okay. He said, she said, it's whatever. Your word against mine. But once you start messing around with these girls that you work with, then whatever is said, you make it more credible. The woman ended up leaving her job and was paid $325,000 to resolve a sexual harassment complaint. Another woman testified that she had a consensual relationship with Smiley. Once, when she turned him down for sex, he reminded her that he was her... Tavis, man, come on, bro. He reminded her that he was her boss. "I felt like my job was in jeopardy and that if I didn't do what he wanted sexually, I would lose my job," the woman testified. The woman was later fired and testified she believed it was because others in the office learned of the relationship. Another woman was a paid guest on Smiley's show. She said that she had some intimate connections with Smiley, but that he refused to have her back on the show after she turned him down for sex. See, guys, we can't be grimy like this. I mean, come on. We can't be whole scumbags, man. I mean, especially if you're a black man in power with power, wealth, and influence. Like, you can't be a whole scumbag, man. You can't do that. I mean, this is like when you're leveraging your power in order to get laid on the job, it's going to backfire. And again, black men, you're going to get made an example of. Case in point, you got to pay your company now $2.6 million. Imagine you get fired, then you got to pay your company $2.6 million because in your clause there was something that you can't act. You have to have some type of moral fabric about yourself. The 3 other women testified about Smiley's use of crude language at work, his anger, his habit of yelling at subordinates, and other issues. See, all of that could have gotten, could have got a slap on the wrist or a warning. But once you start engaging in sexual, relationships with these women, that's a whole nother level. And it's going to be hard to really fight these accusations, especially after you start having sex with these women. Because then all the women have to say, see, the reason why I got into a sexual relationship with this guy is because I thought I was going to lose my job. See, he said he's powerful, he's this, he's that, he's the man, and that he could just let me go and fire me, and he controls everything here, and he's the HNIC, and and if I don't listen to him, I won't have a job, and I got to pay my bills. I had nothing else to do. So black men who are in corporate America, think smarter. Do not dip your pen in company ink. Okay, just get your money. There we go. Get your money. Don't get distracted. Okay. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru.